Hello. Hmm. I'm not able to see anything on my YouTube though. Oh, you have an animation for stream starting as well. Hmm. Hmm.
Hello. Yeah,
Hello.
so welcome to the stream. This is our first live stream on the YouTube. Hope we can continue our live stream to a very great extent. And welcome to the stream. So today Kaushik, one of my great friends, has also joined me in this live stream. So we both of will be coding we can say a statistics application for WhatsApp. So it's not that much great application. It's like a simple application which will be showing us the statistics for the WhatsApp, that how many messages have we sent, and something like that. So I have just currently just created a new project of Flutter. Nothing else has been coded, and we'll be starting. So Kaushik, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah. So hello everyone. This is Kaushik. I met Hemish some time ago on Discord, and then we kicked it off, and then I realized I wanted to do a stream with him as well. So this is a small side project. So we wanted to uh, build a small application where you put in your WhatsApp chat, and then we'll give you simple analytics like who messaged more, and what kind of messages did you have, and all of that kind of stuff. And as far as my introduction goes, I have been coding since I was 18, and so I started where Hemish is right now. So I started, and then now it's been about 6 years that I've been coding. So it's been a great journey. So let's get started, I guess, Hemish.
Yeah. So first thing, let's open our UI,
Yeah,
the UI of the Figma that we have created. So can you please share the link? It's link.
sharing.
Yeah.
I put it up on Discord.
Yeah. Wait. Let me try to open it.
Yeah. Did you
And
get the link?
yeah, I got that. Great. Yeah. So here is a design that we will be coding. Just let it be loading, and it should load now. Yeah. So now the Figma is loading, and we have created our entire design in the Figma itself. like coding. Why is like it not opening today, yeah?
I think it'll just take a little bit of
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. I got it. Yeah. So this is like not a really great UI, I know. It's like a very simple UI. Like here's a title and nothing else. So the first thing that we will trying to complete is like a way of like displaying number of messages that we have sent. Like you can say that let's say let's say take for example that me and Kaushik have a WhatsApp chat and I will share 36 messages and Kaushik shared 24 messages. And also there will be like something like this bar we can say bar graph that kind of thing. And here there will be a radial graph. I just don't wanted to design that thing. So nothing else, I just put that here. But for the graph we'll be using the package. So there is like a package in Flutter which we'll be using. And finally there will be number of sessions. So Kaushik, can you please explain what exactly sessions is?
Yeah. So what we mean by session is that we wanted to have a small interval in which we try to segregate messages by. So let's suppose you started texting and Hemish and I are talking, and then I am away from the keyboard, or neither of us talk to each other for an hour. So we'd segregate those into different sessions. So if you have a break of at least 1 hour, it would be counted as a new session. Everything you start afterwards. The reason for this is because maybe there is you'll get to know how many sessions you have had, and also you can see in each session how interactive were you, how interactive was the other person, and that kind of a stuff. So that is how we are
So
defining.
so one question from my side. Will there be like a fixed timing of 1 hour between each session or can we change it like to half an hour?
So we should be able to, let's put it in a variable so that
Yeah. Yeah, so we can
somewhere
change
in
it in future, no issue. Yeah. So meanwhile I will try I will like starting to like you can code the entire UI and you can like start to code the logic part.
yeah.
So let's open the code. So here's our code. And we both can code on the single code base because of the plugin that we installed in VS Code. It like really helps us to like we can like collaborate coding. So the first thing I will doing is literally all as always remove entire code. Yeah. So let's first make a folder and all of that proper. What shall we make the name the first one? Let's say home. What a typo, man. Yeah. Home screen has been created. Then there will be a folder for no only single file for constant where we will explain all of our colors and all of that. Yeah. So the first thing that I will be creating in the home is the home screen.art and let's first of all for the main it's like always the same boilerplate code. So let's quickly complete that little thing. It's not a question mark, it's this arrow. So for run app method we need to import yeah. So for run app we will needing to import our we can say a Flutter material. And why is my VS Code not working again? Well, let's just first create a state less widget and name it as my app as an entry point. It will be returning, if I can type return, material app, and there has to be a semicolon. Why can't I just import it? Let's just manually type. Yeah, so this should not be there. And now I'll be importing both of them manually. Flutter slash material dot and a semicolon will complete the statement. That's it. So there needs to be some const, and the material app will have the title as. So Kaushik, what needs to be the exact name of our application?
What should be the exact
Name.
name? I
Yeah,
think we can start with my chat site. I think I can't think of some other name.
yeah. So my chat seems to be a good thing. Yeah. And the body will be returning our home page. Sorry, there is nothing like body. There is something like home. And for home page, we'll be needing to create it inside of a home screen that we have just created. So it will be of type stateful widget. If it can load. Where is my VS Code? Yeah, stateful widget. And its name is home page with P capital. And for now, it will be returning what? Yeah. So careful will be the main thing that it will be returning, and that's it for now. Let's fix these imports, and we need to import, well, I mean the imports will be that's not with the slash thing. Yeah, so Kaushik, are you able to see the code?
Yep.
And so now we can, like, you can start on the logic part by creating, because a new folder.
Hmm. So I've created a models folder where I have message and then I have session,
Yeah.
right? Inside of message, I want okay. Inside of message, I want a couple of things here. One is I want to have a parse method, and then I want to have these content date and sender.
It is
So
it is returning an error on my side, like the instance is non-nullable, so maybe you need to make it nullable.
yeah, we'll do that. So
Yeah,
I just wanted to have the overall
yeah,
structure.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm
So what kind
passing
of
in,
interaction will be there?
yeah, and then I go message dot content or message dot
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
date
Got
and
that.
this kind of, right?
Yeah,
So I
so
wanted,
by some way, because like we can make a object of the message, and by using that object we can get the time and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and that is not required in the Flutter, and that's it. So
So
you
that is for
go, yeah,
message, and we'll have one for session as well.
yeah.
So session will have a similar structure, but we'll be storing a list of sessions into this thing, and then we'll try to generalize the
Mm-hmm.
analytics based
Yeah,
on
no
that.
issue. That also seems good way.
Okay. I think we can get started then.
Yeah. So I'll be starting to code the UI, and you can start on this part, no issue. And this is a const, and in home page we will be having, yeah. So up in home page, let's say that. So as you can see now in our UI, there is like this a little bit of spacing, and I buy this. So it will be simple, real simple. Let me like just move for some little bit of this. Yeah. So we'll be creating a column, and it will be a list of children,
Here.
and that's it. Let's start by not here, at least in the list. So the first thing that we are doing is like this MyChat thing. This text, let's first copy it. Where is text copyable? Oh, I'm not in that. Yeah, so to be. And above and below it, there is like a little bit of sized box here. For like we can have a spacing in terms of height, and the spacing is between this one and it's 37. Let's make it 40 on top and bottom both.
Hmm.
Mm, that's that with that, and first thing we need to add const here. It's not a cost, it's const st. Yeah, great. That's it. So now everything is, we can say, just a structure is ready, and for the styling of this it's something in the terms of 36 and bold. Great. So tag style will be obd. Yes, so Kaushik, from your end, where are you like on the?
So we have the message parser ready. So now we have to hook it up to the file picker, and then we should be good to go.
Great, great. I'm literally just creating the heading, my chats, nothing else.
Hmm.
So let's define its font size at 34, font weight as W900, and with that FS capital. So maybe this much is enough for the styles, yeah. And for the padding, how much have we kept the padding? It's 30, yeah. So let's just wrap it with padding if I can get that. As insets dot symmetric because we only want the horizontal to be as 30. Yeah. So this is like enough for rendering our title and also for all of other cards. So I'll be like making a separate widget for this like card thing. Yeah. Let's make out a new. No, why to make a different widget? Because Flutter provides us with card widget. You can use that only. No, we'll be making our own widget because writing code is always great. Why is my auto completion not working with VS Code 2? Yeah? It
Could be because
always
of the remote thing.
possible. Actually, it's really good point. Because let's say I'm just pressing control space bar continuously. And like it's not literally not appearing. What shall be? What's the border radius of each card? It needs to be, let's say, 5, and width should be maximum possible, height shall be minimum possible, and that's it. The card is created with this color as fill. Okay, let's create border radius as 5, and there's a bracket and semicolon missing, which was and now it's not. No, maybe there is one more bracket missing. So now that fits the thing. I don't know, but my auto of auto formatter is working properly, not like application like the code completion thing. I have to like entire lines of code by match. So after border radius, and For some reason, auto completion is working more than better.
It's I am having issues with the formatter, so it I don't know, it just randomly removes lines and code out of nowhere. So there's a delay in the formatter.
Wait, so in what are you working? So I can help you with that.
So in sessions, no, so I'm just trying to think about this. So if you come to session.dart, right?
Session
So
dot dart. Wait. Yeah, I'm there.
so in session.dart, what I want from a session is that it has to have a from, date time,
Okay.
to date time, how long did the session last. Um, Here I'm a little bit more confused because what we want to do is, let's say I want to have information about average response times,
Mm-hmm.
right? So here again you'd have two details. So you'd have Hemish, and for Hemish the count is 25. Let's suppose 25 seconds. Let's suppose, and for Kaushik it is um, 2 hours. Let's say. Okay. Now
Okay.
the point is, again, this is for average response times, and then we also have number of messages sent.
Hmm.
And again, here it is going to be Hemish and a count, right? And
Yeah.
then Kaushik, comma count. So now what I want to do is I don't want to have a. Um I'm trying to understand if a flat response, a flat structure would be better or a nested structure. So one way that I can think of is that let's suppose you have participants, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and participants is actually an array of objects, and this would look like something similar to this, and here you would have name, and this would be Kaushik, and here you would have average response time, right?
So in short, the thing that we like try to achieve is that so at some point we will like we can say that we will be iterating through every messages. So
Yeah.
we can say that at that time we can no, but that will really go very complex.
So sessions can have this, so it's fine because inside of messages I'm going to store who sent it, what's the name of the sender, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at this, I have the sender, I have the date, I have the content.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, so a session can just have a list of participants like this, or it could just say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to have two fields. Okay. One is average response time,
Mm-hmm.
okay, map response times, and then here it would be Kaushik and something like that. But I think, you know what, now that I'm talking to you, I think this is more elegant in that because we'll be able to populate more personal information that can be used elsewhere as well.
Actually,
So
yeah.
moving forward, we
Mm-hmm.
could have uh, favorite message timings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are all fitting beautifully into this structure because it describes how Kaushik is interacting in this session, right?
No, but the thing is that the first thing that we need to do is to like separate out each session.
Mm-hmm.
So the means
No,
the
you'll have.
yeah.
Acha, right, right.
So the requirement of this model is mainly to like to wait to like store each and every session. Is that so?
So rather than that, let's say this. So this is to represent each session, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the whole part of creating a session and then adding the details is elsewhere, okay?
Okay.
For a moment, let's suppose that's not what we're considering. We are just saying, Acha, if you're going to initialize session, then what we'll need is a string, and then I'll just take, sorry, not string. I need a list of messages. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get this, what I'll do is I'll create a new. I'll populate these fields from this constructor. Does that
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
Yeah, that
So
can be done.
but the logic of actually deciding when a particular session is to be created or changed, right, or using the same session is where here we'll put in the logic. So you probably have something for the file picker, no?
Yeah.
Not yet. Okay. So if you had a file picker, right, the logic would read something like this. Okay, file file content. Okay,
Yeah.
is
So
equal
it
to
to be simple that.
from file. Okay,
Hmm.
function. Now what we'll do is we'll say for now we are using a very brute force way of doing this. We are saying we'll just split messages, and we're just saying we are going to split this based on uh, percentile n. I know
Uh,
this doesn't consider multi-line, okay, multi-line messages, but we are not showing any statistics about individual message right now, at least, right? So
so no,
which
actually, in very soon time, in very short time, we'll be also considering the single message thing, like the number of messages that you sent.
right?
So maybe we can like make the we can code this that thing from the beginning such that we are considering the multi-line messages. Because let's say that I want to share my address to you, then obviously that message will be of multi-line, and no
No,
doubt you,
ha.
yeah.
So what I'm saying is there is some issues with the way that the split is working with regex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we'll have to come up with a new episode to where we solve that specifically,
Yeah.
right? What's a more efficient way? Right now, I'm just considering this because we don't have any word specific statistics. We have message specific statistics. So
Mm-hmm.
even a multi-line message will get counted as one message. It's just that the words in there would be missing,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I'm just saying this might be a little easier for now. We'll change. Obviously, this one line will get changed later on.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Right? So I was saying you'll split messages like this, and for message in split messages, I was thinking we'll have we'll just say if first of all we'll parse this message. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
parsed message or message instance is equal to new. We created message. We created a message model there, right?
Yeah.
So we'll just pass on this message there, right? So
Maybe
what
a VS code is stuck from my side.
is it?
So
Can you not?
maybe please check your session thing.
Uh, let me see. Uh,
Because I'm literally just seeing that
oh
single
no,
line.
you're on session. You're on session. I created it. Okay, I think it. Okay, I got it. I'll just write it down here. Are you following me?
Yeah, yeah, now it's there.
Huh. So we'll just split this message. We'll have a split messages array.
Hmm.
On each message, we'll basically create the instance. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we'll check if we need one more variable here, that is previous message timestamp.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. We just need to know if, so if we'll check if message instance dot date time, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Send time is minus previous message timestamp, right?
Is more
Is
than
greater
like
than
1 hour,
1
and
hour.
more than like a constant that we'll be
Uh,
creating,
uh.
so that like we can easily change it.
So
One
if
question, can we like just minus out the timestamps of both one?
didn't get you, what?
Can we like minus the timestamps?
Can we minus timestamp? Oh, you can get the difference between two
Oh,
times.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
by that way we can. There is no issue with
I
that.
just put in minus for representation purposes.
Okay,
You'll
okay.
just get the diff. So
Yeah.
the idea was, so at the very beginning you create a session,
Hmm.
okay, equal to new session.
Actually, can I say one thing?
Uh,
This code literally looks very much like a Python code.
I know because I
Without
like
brackets and
pseudocode.
without semicolons.
That's why I'm just quickly writing the
Yeah,
pseudocode
yeah,
for this.
yeah.
So if the message, if this difference is greater than 1 hour, Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What we'll do is we'll say S is a new session. Okay.
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 Yeah.
And we'll S dot add message, and we'll
Instead of
add
like adding every message in the session, can we like don't add them? Because adding those messages in the session doesn't like make sense, maybe.
it does. So I'll tell you why though. I'll just complete this logic.
Yeah.
So else, if it is not, if the session is, if it is less than 1 hour, then we'll just say add message, and we'll give message instance. Okay. So uh, actually, then we can just get rid of this, and then you'll have this. Now I'll tell you why. So the reason is that, let's suppose for this particular session, I have all the messages. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then what I can do is, if you ask me later on, can you tell me this exact session with highest average this thing lowest average time, okay,
Yeah,
taken by the
so about that
most
heat map
average.
thing, that the feature that we'll be
Ah,
implementing later. Yeah.
exactly,
So at that
exactly,
time we can like just say and dot length, that's it. So at that time it will be
exactly.
beneficial.
Exactly, and you can also run. So when you run any analytics on the session level messages, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your speed would also be faster because now
Yeah,
you won't be
obviously
needing
because we don't need
all.
to like run the same code twice.
Yes. So
So
which is why I was hoping these would be in different sessions. So all right. So if we do this, right? For doing this, I need one more thing called add message on session. But if we do this, then at the end of the loop, what we'll have is we'll have individual messages. They have been grouped by sessions, and then we can figure out very quickly whatever analytics we want
mm-hmm.
by just iterating over sessions.
Yeah, that is a great way. One little optimization that I was thinking
Hmm.
was like, can we first like just split our entire list of messages into half an hour time stamps?
Into half an hour timestamp in the sense?
Let's
Oh, you're
say,
saying, do you want to group them based on the time difference, is it?
yeah. So like from 10 to 10:30 there are like five messages. Then 10:30 to 11 there are like this many.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that.
No, but
Why do you want to start with that?
so I was thinking that by splitting them, can we like just achieve the same message thing? That if there is a empty, we can say na. Actually, the thing is that like, we are trying to uh, share the statistics on a greater level, not a message level.
Right.
So we can do something like let's say कि we have messages from today's 10 to 11. Yeah. So we can say the starting time, we can say first timing of the chat to the last time of the chat. We can split entire thing into like 50-minute intervals or 30-minute intervals.
Okay.
And if any one of them is empty, like the list of messages in any one of them is empty, then we can like create a new session after that timestamp. Something like let's
We
say
are,
कि,
we are doing the same thing here, right?
no, but this would be like a more efficient way.
How? Because so what you're doing is so let's suppose what the bottlenecks are. Okay.
Mhm.
So you're going to iterate over all the messages anyway,
Yeah,
right? So I am also iterating over all the messages here,
yeah,
right? And if you want overall message level analytics, what will happen is you'll have your logic here.
hmm,
Let's suppose you want global analysis, that is how many messages were present in total.
hmm,
Okay. That analytics will be here. If you want session specific analytics, they will be in session. And at the end of this loop, you have a list of sessions. So you have iterated over messages once. I've iterated over messages once. And the only pending cost here is that uh, I have a couple of if conditions that basically have a, new
yeah.
class instance.
To we can say split out everything.
Yeah. So
So
either way, it's going to the bottleneck depends on how big split messages is rather than or if you have inner loops. Otherwise,
Mhm.
this should be fine. They're both
No,
the same.
actually, I was trying to take out this thing as we can say, na, कि the heat map that we'll be creating will be based on hourly rates, like every day at what hours, like from hour 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So at that time, we again need to run the follow up that in what hour, how many messages we have done, like because in fifth hour of the day, how many messages we have done. So at that
Okay.
time, there need to be another follow up maybe. Or
So
if
so now, I'll just tell you how it is different from what we're doing. Okay.
hmm
So it comes down to the understanding of what a session is. Okay.
hmm
So you are saying, let me break down the total number of hours into individual sessions that last an hour.
hmm
Okay. So, but what I'm saying, but what we said was it depends on the interval between messages.
hmm
Why? What is the difference? So let's suppose uh, you and I are talking. It is 1:59. Okay.
yeah,
We are talking, and we have talked till 2:30.
okay.
According to you, we have had two sessions.
No, not by that means. कि let's say कि there is like a one session of 1:30 to 2. There is not a single message. So if there is not a single message in any interval, then we can increase the session count.
Nee, but you have here you have messages in both sessions. So let's suppose you have divided into half an hour blocks. Okay.
Yeah.
So now that you have divided into half an hour blocks, I said we were speaking at 1:59. We started speaking at 1:59,
Hmm.
and our conversation ended at 2:29. Let's suppose.
Okay.
Now what has happened is, according to you, we have two sessions. One session is from 1:30 to 2 o'clock, right?
No, actually
Because we
the way of counting session is, let's just see कि पहले हम like some comments we can write down like 1:59. No, the session time should be like 1:30 to 2 o'clock. 200, no, 2 o'clock. Yeah. After that, there will be like 2 o'clock to 2:30.
Hmm.
And above and below these, there will be like one few more sessions, let's in the lines of like 1 to 1:30. Maybe I haven't put the comma. And just wait.
So if you look at this, right, I said we started speaking at 1:58. Okay.
Just wait a moment. Let me. Yeah. So the last one will be 2:30 to 3 o'clock. Yeah. So I was saying कि we haven't sent a zero message in this time period, like 1 to 1:30. Then from 1:30, no sorry, 1:59, 1:59 we have started. So there is like a single message here. After this, in 2 to 2:30 time span, let's say that we have chatted for a very long time and sent 75 messages. That's actually great conversation. And it's up to 2:30, 2:29. And at here, there is again no conversation. Okay.
Yes.
So our code will do, by the way, like it will be like because iterating start from here. Like 1 to 1:30 there is no message. Okay. 1:30 to 2 there is a single message. So let's increase the like count of session to 1. And still there is like still the messages are continuing, like 1 there was a message and there are still messages. No, not like that. So it will be doing something like key. Whenever like there is a zero, it will be increasing. Like we can say na key. Number of sessions it will be increasing when there is zero message. So let's say key, and at the end we need to minus one thing.
I understood your point. What you're saying is,
Yeah.
if there is a pattern where you have some data between two zeros, then you'll consider that entire
Yeah.
0 to 0 block
So
as
at the
one.
end the least that we'll be getting is something like 0, then 0, then
What will you get out of this though?
actually at a time of heap mapping, it would be really great of using these. So at the time of heat map, it will be like just iterating over this entire thing and mapping this number into a specific color. That's it. The heat map will entirely be created just by using this single thing.
Okay, let's worry about the heat map a little bit later.
Yeah,
Okay, the reason why I'm talking about this right now is because, so if you divide it based on time, right,
yeah,
it is not a meaningful session per se.
yeah.
Okay, what I'm saying is that you're still actually, so what I meant by meaningful session is that you have continuity of conversation
Mm-hmm.
and all of it makes sense if you read it sequentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm just thinking what you're saying is also not wrong in that um, it's still counted as one session and it still is. I mean, isn't it a better metadata to be added to what do you call it? Um,
So the only thing that I was thinking of this way was like so that we can say na कि we can also manage the heat data thing, heat map thing.
right.
But by creating this, it would be like really difficult to manage the number of messages that a single user has sent.
Got it. Got it.
So this
So
also
what?
has that minus point that it can't calculate the number of messages each and every person has sent.
Hmm. But why even do any of this? I'm saying, why do you care? Why do you care if this number is something that we have to provide in the first place? Shouldn't it be as simple as us saying, hey, you know what? Uh, so because you're doing a half an hour basis, this thing. I'm saying, why do you have to do this in the first place, Hemish? Because uh, let's suppose whenever you ask for this heat map, right?
Hmm.
I will give you the exact what do you call it? Date time and date time, okay, of all the
Hmm.
messages,
Okay.
okay.
No, but
So
actually
it is
for
going to
heat map,
plot
it
that
will be
in.
like a bit overkill for that. The only thing that heat map requires is the number of messages in any single, like in any given hour. So that's the
Hmm.
only thing that's required for the heat map, nothing else.
Let's think about how we want to show the heat map later, because we'll
Yeah.
have to have a conversation about how that heat map is going to help us, right?
Hmm.
And in which format would it be helpful? So would it be helpful as a heat map, or would it be helpful as a graph? Would it be helpful as something else?
Yeah, so
So let's.
that will be a later thing.
Or it could be as simple as, let's suppose you just plot these onto the graph and dots, and you create a scatter plot, right?
Yeah,
So
that.
maybe in that way also it will be helpful,
Hmm.
right?
And in this
So
approach also we can do something like the way like we are iterating through this and like for every message we
hmm,
can like add we can also make a list. Let's say there is a list
hmm.
of message and maybe instantiating it.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah. So meanwhile is the gone. So we can like discuss okay. Let's say there is a list of messages and no list of messages in time. Yeah, so we can be doing that. Yeah. So we can say okay, we can just add the number. Like if the current like if the R counter increases every time, let's say that R counter increases from 1 to 2, then we can add that thing. So this was I was thinking. Yeah, so are you back?
I'm back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking we have a array of integers and the
Right.
default value for each one will be a 0 So we can do something like that, Naki. It's an array, and for let's say the current R counter is 5 o'clock, and for it is like iterating through every messages. So for all the
Oh, by the way,
messages, yeah,
so sorry. Go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry.
So for every messages having R counter as 5, we'll be adding that to like this string. If I'm
Yeah. So
making
I was thinking of the same thing. So I
okay,
was saying,
great.
right, rather than session, we can have both of these things. That's the beauty of this approach. So what you can do is you can the message specific items, right? You can have here. Here, what you could do is you could have a simple. Are you able to see my cursor?
Yep, it's there.
You could have a simple map. This map will basically contain what you are saying. So the date, okay. So let's suppose this is I don't know what the date is for 11 June. Let's suppose 11/06 2022, okay. And then
Okay.
this will have an array. These are all
Yeah.
the slots, okay. And here in each slot you would
Mm-hmm.
have the key of the time frame, okay. So you would
Mm-hmm.
have 1:30 13:00 to 13. Actually, instead of this key you could simply have uh, uh, what is
One, two,
this
three,
called,
four, like from
interval.
R0 to R10.
uh, I mean, we'll decide on the names a little
Yeah,
later,
yeah, it will be later thing.
but
One
in
little question. It will be literally overkill for the for the code, like for the project. Can we just make all of this code into a single backend server?
this into a server.
Yeah,
Oh, we can. I mean, it is much easier to do it there as well.
yeah, because
But
there will be support for Python also, and in that
the
this
only
becomes a
problem
bit
is that
harder.
these are people's personal chats.
Obviously, no, we can't.
So they wouldn't want to have a
Yeah,
backend request
and also
to their.
publishing this app would make us a really hassle to publish it because of the
Right.
privacy issues.
Yes, exactly. So
And
let's
also,
do it
by
on.
some means, we really need to prove that we are not sharing our messages anywhere.
We'll open source the code.
Yeah, currently it is open sourced, but there has to be some kind of proof for it, a proper proof. Because at the time of publishing, I guarantee you that App Store Connect will give us that means they have this like reason for canceling your application for publishing that your application can leak potential data, like it can leak data. So
It can't. So I'll tell you why. So you also have a permission for internet
yeah,
connectivity.
so I was thinking of that only, that we will be disabling the internet permission on
Yes.
itself.
Yes. Yes.
So
Exactly.
if there is no internet permission, then we can't. That's it.
So we can't even make a request. So obviously we
Obviously.
can't. Then.
Yeah.
All right.
So great.
I
Can
will
we?
just have
Yeah.
time interval, some function like this, and then we'll
Mm-hmm.
add the message, and then that will take care of adding it, creating this, adding to this map. Okay. So we have all of the pseudo code. Let's take this aside. I moved it up away. Okay. Don't worry, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And session, a creation of session. I actually don't need a constructor. I just need an add message to session. Okay.
And the session will have methods like add session, then add message. No,
Yeah.
add session
So
is not required. Only add
mm,
message.
this here, okay, and then I'll comment this out, yeah, so that you have reference to it all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, there is an add message, and here I'll just say map of string. Okay. uh,
And the other field will be dynamic.
yeah, so this is not actually a map if you think about it. This is a list of uh, a map, right?
Sorry.
So here, so here it would be void list of let's suppose the participants is the hmm, here I'm going to say it's a list. It's a list
Yeah.
of. So do I have to mention also what kind of a list it is part of? Sorry, I'm not
Mm.
very good at.
So we can and we can't. It depends on us. If we are
Okay,
like not defining it, then it will be list of the dynamic.
so I can do this, right?
Yeah. No, actually, no, you can't. So the thing that let's say कि we need a list, then to be like just this much list and the name. I'm like writing the syntax. So to be name equals to this. That's it.
Acha. So you're saying do this.
So this will be kind of the syntax for that.
This is how you mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
cool.
we the thing will it be nullable of participants?
What are you saying?
So
It
will the
would it
list
be relevant?
we
It
no
won't be.
we don't need a nullable because like we are already instantiating it like this way.
Yeah, it is already initialized to an empty array. So
Yeah, so there is no need of now so maybe daytime and they can't be nullable maybe so. So the thing that we can do is that we can remove this question mark and add late keyword referring that they both will be we can say initialized later on.
okay, yeah, that is also fine. Yes.
Because the datetime to and from will like never be the nullable or the thing that we can do is like make them final and add them in the constructor.
No, we won't get it from constructor. You can use the late part.
Okay,
So
okay, then
what
we
will happen is at every add message, right?
yeah.
At every add message, what is going to happen is let me also do this. So at every add message, one is we are going to so we are going to get a message here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So message. So what is going to happen is here we'll have three functions that are going to take place. One is that we are going to say messages dot push message. Okay, one that is going to happen.
Hmm.
Then we're going to say recalculate from time. Okay, recalculate to time. Okay, let's let's assume that all of this is sequential data, so you'll always have from time before to time. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So the last message will define what the sessions to field was. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
pass in message here. Actually, we will pass in message here, and the last thing is uh, uh, reconcile participants because so I was thinking of a simple use case. You know what could
Maybe
happen?
I can't against your code.
You can't.
No, actually I'm like just on the messages dot push dot message. That's it.
Okay. I think it is. It'll sink in a bit.
Yeah.
Are you able to see now?
Nope. Yeah, yeah, now there is yeah. So now it's second scene. Yeah, so now you can continue.
Cool.
Hello.
I think your video is stuck on the stream if I'm not wrong.
Maybe on my side there is no issue. Maybe so on in OBS. No,
Okay.
but the frames are going a bit down.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
No, but now they're like again going up. Then no issue. And there is
Okay.
like not a bottleneck from the internet, if I guess so.
Hmm. So the
Well,
point is
nope.
that we are going to reconcile participants
Yeah.
because I was thinking of a simple use case. So let's suppose it's a group message, group WhatsApp group,
Mm-hmm.
and at one point in time there are only 2 3 people interacting when there is actually 10 people in the group,
Yeah.
right? So you wouldn't so at a session level you would want to know who all participated.
Yeah. Obviously.
So whenever you get a new message, you will reconcile participants. Reconcile participants means it will go through all the existing list of participants and sees if this particular participant exists or not. Okay. If that participant doesn't exist, it will create a new object. If that participant already exists, then it will just add the message.
So we
Uh,
also
uh,
like need to have a model for participants, like participants model maybe.
we can adding a participant. I mean, it would be a little bit of an overkill. We can still have it, but sure, like why not? Yeah,
Yeah.
that should be straightforward. Okay. So recalculate two time, reconcile participants, and then messages dot push message. Yes. So this will give us a decent idea of the session itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the participants in that session. And you could also say, hey, you know what? A little bit later, we could also say we could also talk about per session analytics as well. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
we are just showing the number of sessions. We are enabled to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say let's implement this now. So we'll think about implementing these a little bit later. Let me
Mm-hmm.
just comment these out. So define what is push? Is it append? I'm not sure.
Append dot add.
Oh, dot add.
It's like really simple name, but it's like really
Okay.
with me also that I really like forget the names
In
with them.
JavaScript, it is push. In Python, it is append.
Yeah,
Here,
so actually like it should be like common between all the languages. But now we can't make it common now because that would be like making issued backwards compatibility. So
it won't be because and you can't really do that also because if you think about it, every language has a paradigm that it works in,
yeah.
and they have defined ways to do things in that particular language. Like for example, in Ruby,
Hmm.
you have like at least 10 different ways of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but Python's philosophy is that you should have only one way of doing something. So
Hmm.
if you're trying to add to a list, then there is only one way you can do it. Okay.
Actually, in Flutter also there is a literally awkward method, and this will be for all of them. Like messages will be equals to messages, and maybe